Behind me is the Breitscheidplatz Christmas market in the center of what was West Berlin. 1 year ago this week, a Tunisian man, following the instructions of ISIS, killed a Polish truck driver and hijacked his tractor trailer. He drove it into the crowd at this entrance here. Went about 250 feet before the brakes kicked in. He killed 12 and injured 56. I want to see what changes they've instituted this year. Grab your seats. It's time for Counterterrorism Roll Call. I'm at the foot of the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church in Berlin, Germany. At its foot is a memorial to the 12 people who were killed in the terrorist attack of the Christmas market in 2016. A man from Tunisia who was escaping a conviction from stealing a truck. So he got on a refugee boat and ended up on an Italian-run island in the Mediterranean. There he pretended to be a miner to start over his life. He was involved in an extremely violent riot in the refugee camp and eventually ended up in Germany. In Germany, he had arrests for fights and a knifing. He even tried to buy a pistol from a police officer. He was said by his family to be a known drinker and sell drugs. Not normally what you think of as being a radical Muslim. But he followed ISIS. He did what he was told to by ISIS. He pledged his allegiance to al-Baghdadi, and he hijacked a truck and drove it through the middle of this Christmas market, killing 12 and injuring 56.
This is what the Breitscheidplatz looks like the other 11 months out of the year. It's a very open area. There are some decorative bollards to prevent incidental contact between pedestrians and vehicles. You'll see in a minute that they're not very effective. This is what the Platz looked like the morning after the attack. The terrorists took the truck through an unprotected entrance, through the walkway, and the automatic brakes kicked in, exiting them through one of the stands out onto the street. In the close-up, you can see how the bollards really did nothing to stop the truck. Now let's look at the changes that were made 1 year later.
This is in fact the entrance. The driver came through in the truck, went approximately 250 feet down this way before swinging back out into the road with the automatic brakes kicking on. As we approach, there's a short maze of some Jersey barricades, allowing pedestrians to enter, but keeping vehicles out. One of the other new mitigation and prevention barriers this year is this row of Jersey barriers that runs along the outside edge along the street, covered by Christmas trees for decoration and to help hide it a little bit, blend in.
These temporary concrete barriers were all around the perimeter of the market, between the stalls and the road. They were well disguised with the Christmas trees, and with the exception of the entrance, you didn't even notice them. However, this barrier didn't form a solid wall. There were breaks between the Christmas stalls to allow vendors to bring their materials in and out and to be able to still conduct business. One night while I was there seemed to be an extra amount of police presence. I saw a lot of officers with long guns walking around the plots. Occasionally they would stack up with about 6 officers in a line, each facing a different direction down the middle. I had a chance to interview a couple of them, but one overly aggressive female officer made me delete my video. When I saw these guys make a move, I thought something was up. There was some people on the other side of the Christmas trees at the memorial. So I put my camera on a selfie stick and held it up over the trees, and there was the leader of Germany, Chancellor Angela Merkel, putting flowers at the wreath. I was surprised. Now, there was some extra security there for her, but not what you would expect for a visit from the leader of the country. And as a matter of fact, when I spoke to the officers the next day, nobody had informed the Berlin PD she was coming. Speaking specifically about vehicle attacks, there were some holes in the security.
At this entrance to the Christmas market, there's an opening in the Jersey barrier on the right side. I have a feeling it's here to allow the police cars like this one and this police vehicle here to be able to get in and out. But a vehicle could certainly pass in and through this area. Here's yet another example of an opening in the barricade that would easily fit a full-size sedan or a moderate-size van. And I think this opening is another indication of the competing interests between commerce and security.
It's worth noting the markets were crowded and the people had a favorable attitude about security at the market.
What did you notice when you were looking around?
Well,
Lots of police.
You saw lots of police officers. Okay.
So in a way, I have a very good feeling about police, and I feel very, very safe. Yes. Yeah, I think that attitude is very important to live and not to be scared of them. And yes.
Yeah, well, it's a frightening place, but well, you know, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
And we try not that come close to us this terror attack, and yeah, that's why we try to forget the.
Okay. And do you see any difference in the security between last year and this year?
Yeah,
What do you see different?
more police officers.
To wrap up this video, I'd like to spend a few seconds just to remember those who died on this day. Until next time on Counter-Terrorism Roll Call, be alert and be safe.